Hey gardeners, it is April 2nd, 2023 today. We're out in my backyard in the Phoenix, Arizona area, 9B, and we're talking Royal Poinciana today. So especially for those of you new to growing Royal Poinciana, you might be a little concerned with how your tree looks right now. For many trees in your yard, you're seeing bloom, push, as well as leaves. But for the Royal Poinciana, I want to reassure you this is what the tree looks like at this time of the year. So my tree in front here has been in ground since spring 2016, so 7 years in the ground. I'm going to walk out there so you can get a sense for how large this tree is, even though several years ago I actually had to cut it right down to the trunk there due to frost damage. So with that perspective, you can see just how large these trees get. Definitely can grow into your focal point for your yard. These trees do get quite big. So while this is supposed to be an evergreen, it's not really meant to grow in our climate. It really needs consistent temperatures of lows in the 50s to start putting on growth. We're now seeing temperatures in the 80s for our highs. We'll be in the 90s soon, and those low temperatures have been coming up. Knowing this tree was going to be pushing growth soon, I knew I had my last chance to go ahead and prune. So I reshaped this tree. I took out a lot of the middle branches, really trying to shape it into that base structure. Topped the height of the tree to about 13 feet tall and left those branches that have more of a horizontal arc to them. They're not going vertical because my strategy for this tree is to have more of that umbrella shape look to it. I don't want an extremely tall tree just because that makes it harder to maintain over time. But I do want that nice shade canopy. So that structure is going to help. So if you haven't already pruned your Royal Poinciana and you've got, one in the ground that needs to be shaped, you should probably go ahead and do that soon here. Because what you'll find is about this time, if you don't already have these buds coming out of the leaf junctions, you will have them coming out very soon here. So you can see there that little bit of green. This is generally when we start to see it, just starting in April. By the end of the month, we should see a lot of new branches spurt out, green up. May, this thing will be completely flush with growth. Now there will be branches on your tree, most likely, like this one here. You can see it's blackish in color. We can test to see if the cambium is green and alive by doing the scratch test. You can see, unfortunately, that is a brown color. So this is dead. And we can safely go ahead and, prune this right here to the branch junction. Get rid of that. It's not doing any good staying on the tree. And since we are past the chance of frost, we can go ahead and prune any kind of dead or dying branches off the tree. If you're seeing green buds on certain branches and not others, even these thicker branches like I see here, I don't see any growth coming out of the node, I can test this as well. Scratch this, and you can see that too is brown. So this will have to go. So even larger branches like that may have to be pruned off due to cold damage. Especially this year we had such a long winter that by the end of it, the tree did not have any foliage to protect itself from frost. So I imagine what happened with this branch here is that frost just settled on the top here because nothing was there to catch it and ultimately damaged that limb. But don't fret about it, it's not a big deal. Royal Poinciana really rebounds quickly from pruning. This puts on a lot of growth, so don't worry if you have to do some pruning. Hopefully this helps you out if you're growing Royal Poinciana and didn't know what to expect. It's first year coming into spring. This is totally normal to see more or less a naked tree. This is going to flush out quite well for you soon. If you haven't already, it's a really great time to go ahead and cut any of that dead wood off your tree, as well as do any kind of shaping on the tree to get it set for the year. Typically at this time, I'm also hitting my guava trees with some pruning. That was my red Malaysian, my white guava. Going ahead and doing my shaping cuts as we are out of the chance of any frost and want to get these set up for the growing season. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching and happy gardening.